Temperature went up a few degrees in the courtroom today as the Kilpatrick corruption trial stretched into day 52.
Yeah, things got tense between Kilpatrick's lawyer and a star government witness, Derek Miller. 7 Action News investigator Ross Jones was in the courthouse all day long.
And Ross, we got to ask you, did Miller at any time lose his cool even a bit?
A little bit he did. Things got a little testy. Good evening to you both. After staying composed for his first day on the stand, Derek Miller sometimes showed his frustration today, even rolling his eyes as Kilpatrick's lawyer questioned him. But Miller said this much is clear. He broke the law, and so did Kilpatrick. Defense lawyer Jim Thomas was dodging raindrops outside federal court, but inside he was throwing punches, all of them at this man, government star witness Derek Miller. Once Kilpatrick's top aide and close friend, he's now accusing the mayor of racketeering and taking bribes. Thomas did his best to trim Miller down to size, and it wasn't easy work. Miller refused to soften earlier testimony, so the ex-mayor's lawyer suggested to jurors that Miller just couldn't be trusted. He harped on his plea deal, reminding jurors that helpful testimony for the government could lead Miller to a reduced prison sentence. Miller kept his cool for most of the day, but sometimes he and Thomas sparred.
There's nobody in this case who has completely clean hands. Counsel today appropriately went after my client, and anytime things are being brought up that you may or may not have been involved in, certainly a person wouldn't be human if they were not moved by that.
Yesterday, Miller said he delivered the mayor a $10,000 bribe from a Detroit restaurant owner, and he did it in the same restaurant's bathroom. But today, Thomas suggested that Miller's story just didn't add up. He pointed out that Kilpatrick can't go anywhere without being recognized, and said he'd never take a chance of being in a place where he was about to accept a bribe. Said Thomas, quote, "You bring him to the very same place where you don't want him to be seen getting the money?" Miller stood by his story, though, saying it just happened that way. Meanwhile, as defense lawyers head home for the weekend, Kilpatrick won't be able to. With a tether around his ankle, he'll be staying at his mother's house in Detroit, with strict orders not to leave.
The tether's not my deal. It's nothing, as far as I'm concerned, it's nothing but a distraction. We are in trial, and I'm on much, much more weighty issues right now.
Now, Kilpatrick normally leaves court on foot, but as you saw at the end of that piece there, today he avoided reporters by getting picked up in a waiting car that drove him away. It was perhaps a way to avoid cameras from getting a shot of that new tether he's wearing around his ankle, stemming from a possible parole violation.
So, Ross, any idea how long he's going to have on that tether?
He's going to be wearing that bracelet for at least another week. Heather's back on Monday.
Exactly.
The bracelet for at least another week, and there's an investigation going on. The corrections department is looking into it, and depending on what they find, they could either charge him and he'll keep it on for a while. If they don't, he'll get it off.
Yeah, sorry, his attorney called it a distraction.
I've been called worse.
Yes. All right, thanks, Ross. Good job.